Good morning. This is Lee Funderburk with Stony Creek Farm, and I've got a dirt-rich education tip for you. During the summer, as you know, your cilantro will get really large and begin to bolt on you, where it has large stems and it will start flowering out. You can kind of see how thick that stem is. I cut out all the stems in the spring and early summer so that I can take off the leaves and dry it, and then I'll have cilantro to use all summer long. And also in the winter too, because it reseeds in the fall, and then I do some more in the fall if I've already used it up. But here's some tips on how to dry cilantro, really easy. Basically, I take my scissors and I'm going to cut off the leaves. I try to keep the woody stems out of there as much as possible, but I just try to get the leaves off. As you can see, the really large leaves will stay their size. But like I said, I try to keep the woody stems off. But you just take all those out, line them up on a tray, a baking sheet, and you do need to do a single layer so that they'll be even. Now these large leaves that you can see right here, the larger leaves are going to stay intact. They will not crunch up, because I'm going to show you what it looks like after you dry it, what it's supposed to look like. So I've got my oven on 200 degrees. As you can see, 200 degrees. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to single layer this, put it in the oven with all the leaves on it, and then it's going to dry. And what it looks like after it dries is this right here. This has been dry for about 2 weeks, and you can see it's kind of crunchy. Some of the leaves, as I talked about before, some of the larger leaves, I'm looking right now, but some of the larger leaves are going to be intact, but they're still plenty dry. And then I keep them in a small container. Could be, I usually use glass, but I guess you could use plastic. I prefer glass for everything. But I just put them in a little jar and tighten the lid on those. And you can see how you know if you got it dry enough is it's a little bit crunchy, and then also it does not mold after a few weeks in your container. If you don't get it nice and dry, you're going to end up with mold, and then you won't be able to use it. So you need to make sure that that gets dry. So I put my temperature on 200 degrees. I'll put this in the oven, and then I turn the oven off and let it dry. Now I might have to do that a couple of times. I'll check it in 4-hour increments. And then it's just a really easy way to dry your cilantro. Then you don't have to buy fresh cilantro from the grocery store, especially now. We don't. Some of the supplies are getting kind of tight. So this is a great way for you to take your bolting or your thick stem cilantro, go ahead and cut the leaves off and get it ready for use in the summer when it's too hot and your cilantro is bolting on you. And like I said, you use it in the winter too. What you do with your, if you're making salsa, the easiest way to do that is to put the leaves after they're dry in your salsa that you've made and make it, let it sit overnight, and it gets all the good cilantro flavor out of that. You'll want to let it sit at least for a few hours in the crushed tomatoes, so that it will take the essence of the cilantro into your salsa. So I hope this tip helps you. Thanks a lot, and have a wonderful day.